Morning, friends. It is Beth with crochetrx. It is Monday morning, the 17th of November, and we are prepping this week for the Christmas at Twilight that is in Wallace. This has been one of my biggest events for the last few years, and I did get a double booth space this year in the hopes that it would be even bigger. So I just started recording a different video, then I realized that this actually needs to be the first one for the week. The preface that I was thinking of was the end of last week's video. So deleted that, starting over here. So the video that dropped, this morning in real time, had talked about how I was trying to get some restock done, and yesterday I had started on some dragons. So this is the Crochet by Jenna from her book, her dragon, and I'd hoped to get the 2 dragons done. I've got parts for the opposite colorway, so with the purple as the primary, but by the time I recorded yesterday's video, and then when we got home, my husband got a cleaning itch, and he pulled out appliances in the kitchen and vacuumed behind them and all that stuff. Dinner, laundry, the whole 9 yards of running a household. I did not get 2 dragons done. I am almost done with this one. I am ready to cut off the purple and finish out the tail, and this guy will be done. I really do like how the colors turned out for this. I think he's really pretty. So I did embroider eyes because I just have more and more smaller kids in, and having the option is nice. So he is almost done, hoping to finish him up here shortly. I've got a little bit of time before my work day, so I may be able to finish him up, and then maybe tonight at dance I can get the rest of that. Had to get my list from that we made on Saturday. While things were slow, we kind of did a little bit of inventory reconciliation and made some notes here. And then after the show, we went to, my hair is crazy this morning, went to Michael's since we were 2/3 of the way there, and picked out some variegated yarn for my daughter to make some more snakes, because the big snake that she had made sold. And I was supposed to pick up some black brunette blanket to make black love cats. Did I? No. I picked up the purple and the blue in that brunette. This is one of the variegated colors that we got for the snakes. The other one is a black, gray, and white, which is really pretty. I like. Then I picked up the Loops and Threads Posh Pearl. This is in dark green. So there was a Joanne Posh, that was kale. And I got one skein after that color came out, and I could not get any more. I searched the stores, I searched online, I could not get any more. And so I have been very frugally using that. My teenager has been a bit more liberal with its use. I just really love the color. It is just so pretty. And so I was super excited to see this at Joann's, or at Michael's. And whether this distracted me from the black or the employee going, "Hey, are you finding everything okay?" And I'm like, well, for what you have, yes, I would like some tweeds. And they didn't have any tweeds that I wanted. So that, I think, makes our 6 that we got, because we got 2 of the Posh Pearl. We got 2 variegated, and then I got this purple and blue mystical, I think it is. Mystical. So we got the storm blue and the purple sky is what we got. They were all buy one, get one half off. So 25% off all of them. It's acceptable. I do still need to make white loaf cats. I've got one black loaf cat left, and I have no white loaf cats. So I do need to make some white, just because the nature of white. I tend to try and make those at home because occasionally things fall in the car, things, you know, get dirty, and I don't want my white getting dirty. So I do need to make some white loaf cats. Dragons are on my list, and I'm working on that. So should have 2 dragons by the end of that. Triceratops are back on my list. I had made a whole bunch, if you'll remember, during the dance competition or dance convention the end of October. However, at some point, my inventory didn't get updated as they sold, and I had down that I had a lot more than I really had. And whether it's my fault, whether they walked away at an event during this last month, I don't know. There were a couple of the small inventory items that inventory was drastically different than what was actually on hand and displayed. So, but I have 3 left in 3 different colors. So I will go through and try and make some more of those. I have my work day today, and then we spend 5 hours at dance this evening, where I continue to work intermittently on the computer, and then I crochet. You know, it's my reward for working. Tomorrow we have co-op in the morning for the kids. We are a homeschool family, and this is actually our first semester doing a co-op. My kids are severely dyslexic, and I have not signed up for a traditional co-op because their needs don't get met at the grade level they need to be. So I'm not signing my 7th grader up for first grade reading. So they work with tutors. My 15, almost 16-year-old is where she needs to be. It's, you know, very interesting being a bookworm myself, having to relearn these things with with a brain that works differently. So I did the dyslexia learning path with them for so long, and then I outsourced it to a tutor when we moved cross country, and I just couldn't have one more thing on my plate. So the co-op that we joined is all kind of extracurricular things. My little is doing an anatomy and physiology class, but it's a hands-on sort of thing. It's not reading from a book, regurgitating, taking tests. She's also taking a horse class, and then they have art classes. My older is doing the same art class, as well as a career exploration, where they talk about different careers. They take some surveys, find out what, you know, their interests align with. And so it's been really good for her. Originally, she had thought she would go into nursing. I'm a nurse diabetes educator. I've worked in a variety of nursing areas over the years. And I currently work as a remote diabetes educator. And while she would probably make a fabulous nurse, there's just a lot of reading and a lot of studying and a lot of tests that would be very stressful. I'm a very good test taker. School typically comes very easy for me. I studied so much in nursing school that I truthfully am quite fearful for her. So I'm hoping that this either becomes, you know, more of a commitment for her, or she can find a good pathway that better meets her learning style, because nursing school is like a pirate ship. They will walk you off the plank and not look back. So I'm digressing here. So tomorrow we've got the co-op with the group, and then Wednesday I do not have any patients scheduled, so I will see what work with my second job I can do. Otherwise, I will probably spend the day crocheting. Our Thursday, I have a full day of patients, and Friday, I think the only thing we have on Friday is our church pictures. They're redoing the, not a yearbook, a directory. So I can do some extra charts, and then crochet that day as well. As of yesterday, they were calling for rain on Saturday, which quite literally would dampen the event. We have 2 tents. We elected to, after, you know, talking to people and posting some questions here, social media, we elected to get a second 10 by 10. That way I always have a backup for shows if my first 10 by 10, which is getting a little thin at the seams. I've used it for 6-8 years, not quite sure. So and to just replace the canopy is just as expensive as buying a new tent, which is so frustrating. There are so many products that are like that. So we purchased a second 10 by 10 that will be arriving today. It is out for delivery with FedEx. And then we also upgraded our battery pack mobile power station. We got that from Sam's. That, you know, the battery pack that I purchased to run our internet and some of the extra stuff is like 27,000 kilowatt hours. All right, this is a whole bunch of math that my engineering husband had to explain to me. The pack that we bought is like 93 watt hours, 930 watt hours. So then if you translate that to the kilowatt hours, we have, you know, 3 extra zeros before the decimal point from what my biggest battery pack is. We also have some backup battery units that we use occasionally for power at events. So those are those things that turn on when your power shuts off and it keeps running your computer. I have one for my laptop, for my workstation. I also have one for my epoxy station because we lose power fairly frequently. And if I have pens turning or tumblers turning, I can't have the power go off and those stop. So we ended up buying another auxiliary power station for that. And that is what we would typically unplug and bring to our events. It powered everything for our 5 to 10 event 2 weeks ago now, and works very well for that. They are heavy, they are cumbersome. This new one is going to be like 27 pounds, and again, super heavy. But because it's a mobile power station, it should be, you know, a little easier to handle and carry than the battery backups. So the power station should be here tomorrow or Wednesday, I can't remember. Most of our other supplies that I've ordered have arrived. We needed to get some more keychain accessories for like our crochet chickens and things like that. So we got some more clasps and chains for that. Then we got some more beads, silicone beads for the little. She makes silicone key rings and cup charms. So those came in. We got her some dragons as well because she's dragon obsessed. So that's our week. That's what we've upgraded and ordered. I need to, in addition to the dragons and the triceratops and the loaf cats, my crochet keychain chicken nuggets have been selling very well. I did the free pattern chicken nugget as part of the Instagram free challenge from Stacy Makes and April Cozy Buckeye, and didn't really know what to do with them. Some people will put them in little baskets with the little tissue paper things like you would get at a diner, and I just didn't want to get, I've got so much display and extra stuff, I didn't need any more things. So I threw a keychain on them and they've been selling. So if I do have some more gold, I see it right there. So I can make some more keychain nuggets. Those are brainless. I could whip those out one of these nights at dance. Then we've got some things for my daughter to make with the silicones. We are out of our turtles, or we have one turtle, we are out of our crosses. So she's got more crosses that she can make those keychains with. So that is our plan for the week. I need to wrap up this dragon and get to work, and then we will hopefully get some extra things accomplished this week. So sorry for my crazy hair this morning. Working from home, I don't do a whole lot for any of it, and I just haven't done a whole lot, quite frankly, in years. It's just too much work. So I am who I am. What you see is what you get. So, all right, y'all take care, and I will talk to you tonight or later in the week. Hey friends, so a quick midday Tuesday update. We just got back from our co-op and the kids are logging on for classes. So I only got and I'm pulling the yarn out. I only got a couple more rows out of my dragon yesterday morning before starting work. And then last night, while at dance between charts, I got 3 triceratops done. And then this morning at co-op, I did 4 more triceratops. And I had grabbed a yarn that had about 3 rounds on the end of it, and I wasn't quite sure why. My daughter said that she had started a stingray and then it got put back or something. So she finished that in between her classes so that I could then make a triceratop. So that is where we are at for this week so far. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more done this evening. I think I've got 3 more colors in my bag for some additional, as I hold it, some additional of these, and then we will move on to the next. Tomorrow, hopefully I will get some more done on the dragons, and maybe I will get a white loaf cat done as well. We will see what the day brings. Our tent did show up yesterday. My husband put it together in the garage while we were gone last night, so it just barely fit in the garage. This one does have the push center, are the ones you have to do all 4 legs. So a little easier to get up and down, although it does take a little bit of finagling because you can't put the legs up too high. Otherwise you can't push it all the way up in the center. And then you have to drop the legs down far enough that you can reach the center to get it back down, but still have it up high enough that you can maneuver out from under it. So we'll figure it out. But so that has arrived. Our battery backup, our battery generator mobile power unit should be here tomorrow. And I think that gets us all set for this weekend. So the rain has kind of shifted around a little bit, and still on Saturday though. But I think it was Saturday, Sunday before. Now it's kind of Friday, Saturday. So maybe it'll keep moving its way on out of my show on Saturday. All right, so that is it for now. I will check in with you guys later. Hey friends, it is now Wednesday afternoon. It is 3:30, and I was just popping on because I finally finished the dragons. So the blue one I had started earlier. This is Jenna's no-sew dragon from her book. I embroidered the eyes on this one, and then I did the opposite colorway and did the purple. This one I did hand paint the eyes there. It ended up just a little bit shorter on the tail, but I think I decreased too fast and missed a row or something there. So that is that. No lie, it's been a bit of a rough day for me. I am about an hour outside Raleigh, and if you follow the news, you know that the ICE team, whatever you want to call them, has moved from Charlotte to Raleigh. Our church and area is quite predominantly Hispanic, and so our church has canceled all of the weekend events and classes and all of it in an effort not to be a target for the deportations. So yeah, very, very somber, not necessarily coping very well with it. So that's I've spent a lot of today crying. I don't think you can see it on my face currently, but I would have gotten a lot more done had I been able to see earlier today. So, but the dragons are finally done. I did not get any more crochet done last night. I just worked, and then I will probably plan on working this evening. I will double check my list. I know I've got a white loaf cat that I should do, and I might be able to get that done before we leave for dance still. We've got about 90 minutes before we leave for dance. So we might even be able to get the majority of that white loaf cat done. And then I can see what is left on my restock list before I tackle something else that's fun. So that is it for now. I will check in with you guys later. Be kind, watch out for each other. Hey friends, it is Friday afternoon. I did a little bit of work this morning and have been crocheting this afternoon. Wanted to get you caught up on everything that's done the last couple of days, and then probably end off the video and we will do our market coverage and recap in the next video. So I think I said that I had finished the dragons. So these guys are done. Everybody needs to get tagged still. We have pictures for our church directory this evening. The church will be celebrating its 40th anniversary as a building structure next year, and they're doing a commemorative directory. So I've showered, my hair's doing what it does. Half curly, half not. Typical. So my daughter finished the snake, as I've mentioned. She does the head, and then I finish off, or I do the head, I do the tail, she does all of the single rows. So I had painted the eyes to match and finished that off the other night. I did get my white cat done, and I painted those. My daughter said blue for the eyes, so I painted those guys. And then as I was watching Stacy Makes, maybe, not sure, I saw a reindeer and realized that I did not have any reindeer this year. So my reindeer all sold last year. So I did a quick little reindeer. So this is based off a Woobles pattern. And then I had talked about my chicken nuggets, and that is it's a free pattern by Naughty Fables on Instagram. And I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't want to get more stuff with the basket and the tissue paper and whatever else, so I just threw keychains on them. So, and they sold really well at my last couple events. So I made 4 nuggets, which I was going to keep making them, and then it's like, oh, well, what if I made just some smaller loaf cats? I did have some requests for smaller loaf cats. So I'd seen where some people will do a solid color face and then the variegated yarn. So this is our snake color that I then made a cat out of. So size comparison here, we are quite a bit smaller. So these guys I sell for 18 to 20 depending on the size. Excuse me. I'm thinking 15 on these. So we will see. And then I just started a second one. So this is a purplish gray. This one's called Purple Haze for Bernat Blanket. So we'll see how these guys do. And then my daughter also made a bunch more of her silicone bracelets, keychains. Got a tickle. We were completely out of crosses for our keychains, and we were down to 1 turtle. So we've got a whole bunch of here. Now I just bought some dragon beads for her. So that is what's happening here. Everybody needs to get tagged. I'll finish this. My daughter has been making a whole bunch of K-pop characters. just one right after another. She has been pumping them out, and I have not gotten my placement yet for tomorrow. They sent an email yesterday morning saying that we would receive the email today. It is nearly 4 o'clock Eastern time, so I will give them about 30 more minutes and I will email them going, hey, just following up, I haven't received anything, and see where that is. They had taken the rain out for tomorrow and it's kind of back in. So now there's a chance of rain in the morning, and there's also a chance of thunderstorms at 4 o'clock, right when it's supposed to start. So hopefully the rain that we have today just completely moves on out of the area and it'll be beautiful tomorrow. I do have the double space. I can get everything under the tent. However, my older tent is not as waterproof as it used to be. So it is what it is. We will see what happens. Hopefully we can keep everything dry, including all of our power supplies. So this is one of the biggest festivals, biggest events for my season, and I would be kind of crushed if it ends up being a rainy mess. So fingers crossed everything goes well. I will try and get this video out tomorrow morning, and then potentially the coverage and recap would come out on Sunday or Monday, depending on how much I can get done. So that is it for now. Fingers crossed for some good weather. I appreciate everybody's positive wishes towards that, and we will check in with you down the road. See you in a couple days.